All right, so I am doing a coffee with Brent in late afternoon. It's about 6 o'clock, and man, I wish you could smell where I am right now because right over there. Let me see if I can show you. The smoker is going. You see it smoking? It smells so good. Doing some ribs today. Decided to smoke them instead of. I'm sorry, I'm really self-conscious about my hair. It is a mess, man. It is just a mess. So anyway, we are long past coffee. I'm on to my adult beverage for the evening. And I thought I'd do a coffee with Brent, even if the coffee is inside me and not next to me. And I actually have something kind of serious I want to talk about. Specifically, I'm thinking a lot about what's going on with COVID-19. As of about an hour ago, the state of Alabama, where I am right now, is under a shelter-at-home, stay-at-home order. So you can only be out for the real essentials of food, medical care, medication, things like that, and only if you have an essential job that you can go to. We can talk about that another time. The real thing that I wanted to talk about is that, I've gotten into some conversations with some friends on Facebook, and these are, I've gotten some conversations with a friend of mine that I really disagree with about, the level of response and policy and actions that governments have taken. It's executive orders, so that's not going through the normal chains of commands. What's that called? Checks and balances and all. And as I was disagreeing with them about the measures and the degree of the measures, I got to thinking a little bit. It was all very cordial conversations and discussions. But I've noticed in a lot of the groups I'm in that there's an attitude towards people that it sort of confirms my belief that sort of the dominant thought of our age is the desire for power. I would call it the most appealing cultural counterfeit god out there is power and control. And what we all want is power and control. And in a time like this, when we are clearly that life is clearly out of our control, much of it, that has really come up even more. Let me explain what I mean. You hear about certain states have been under a shelter-at-home order. So I'm not talking about that. Orders to stay at home. But in other places, parts of Florida until recently were, it was social distancing. And so you would see somebody out in a boat. There may be a couple of people out in a boat, and there's another boat, 50 feet away or 30 feet away. And people look at them and the reactions of people are just so angry and so upset. And they name call them and want to shame. And they say, these are idiots and all this stuff. And I looked at the people and thought, well, let's see. If they're with their family and they weren't within 6 feet of somebody else when they got gas and when they got into the water and they're out there enjoying the sun, it seems like they're making the most of it. Isn't it really that we're just super jealous that they have a boat and we don't, and they're doing something that we can't? And I really think that has something to do with it. Sort of like, all right, I don't have a boat. I can't go out on a boat. So now we can't. But if I had had a boat, that seemed like a thing I would have wanted to do. Go kayaking, out but away from people, not coming into contact with other people. Seems like a really good thing to do. A great way to stay healthy, get some fresh air. It would be a really good thing. I didn't, so. I have kayaks over there, sitting there for a couple of years. So anyway, but I really think that people are upset, and there's almost this feeling like, well, if I can't be happy, you can't be happy, and I'm going to make your life miserable if I can't be out there doing the same thing. Now, in some of the images you see a bunch of people, you see a bunch of boats. Oh, look at all those idiots. And I got to tell you, I don't have the same reaction. Now, look, I see some of the boats, and I see a bunch of people on the boats, and I think, you're not taking this seriously. But, I've got a friend that has a boat, his wife, and 2 kids. If they were to go out in their boat before the shelter-in-place order, I think like, well, that's a great idea. Wish I had that, but I don't. So it just goes back to this idea of power. We want to force people to do what we think they should do. We want to exert control over other people, maybe because we don't have any control over. We have so little control of what's going on right now, externally. Of course, internally, we always have, choices and control. So, just urge you to. I think what happens is we judge people and we say those are idiots and those are evil people and they're stupid and they're a-holes or whatever, and it's really more of in a lot of cases more of a reflection of us and what's going on in our hearts and what it is that we want. Now, so all that to say is, the guy I was disagreeing with, he's, one of the guys multiple people I was disagreeing with have been very responsible in the way they're responding to the pandemic. So it's not that, but I know people that I think would look at them and ridicule them or shame them or something like that for the beliefs they have. And I don't think there's a place for that either, So, be nice to one another. Don't judge, I mean, you can be discerning, but don't judge and categorize and decide that a person's motivation. You don't. I don't. I don't know yours, whoever's watching this, So just be cooler about that. And just watch yourself for that counterfeit God. It's an idol that we really like, the idea of power and control. So, hey, I hope you're staying safe. Hope you're staying sane. If not, reach out. Let's talk. All right, peace out.